Okay, let's start now. Okay,
Okay.
for those of you who is watching, thank you for watching my video again. Because I've been doing quite a number of Facebook Live interview with some runners, some coaches to share information during MCO period, because like a lot of people, they got stuck at home and then they got stuck to their phone or TV. And I
Yeah.
think this is the best time for you to learn some information, because we may not have all this kind of time when we are back to normal before MCO, right? Okay. Today our topic is about how to run fast, because a lot of people, when they are into running for some time, they will want to improve their performance. They want to be able to run better. They want to be able to run longer distance. And unfortunately, if you do not have a formula or do not know the method to improve yourself, you will end up suffering from running injury. Yeah, so this is what I see and what I observe in my office. Yeah, for those of you who do not know who am I, I'm a physiotherapist, and my job in my office is to answer three questions. When can I run again? Why am I having this kind of pain? And how do I fix this pain? Yeah, so I'm responsible to all these three questions. Okay, so without too much of talking, I will ask Azwan to introduce himself to the audience.
Hello guys. My name is Azwan. Some of you know me as Awan. Usually, yeah, you can find me in social media using Awaran. I'm 31 this year.
Need
All
to tell
right.
it. Yeah.
I'm working full time in a normal office job. Um, so I'm not really a certified coach, all right, but I'm sharing whatever that I know based on my experience, my reading, also learning from other coaches. Yeah. So I mainly focus on 5 km, 10 km, and the furthest distance I did is half marathon. So I started running a bit late. I think when I was in university. In a school, I wasn't really a runner, so I'm not like a natural runner or talented from school and those kind of stuff. I just started running for fun, and then it turns out to be really good. Enjoy. I met some good people in university throughout my life, and then they guided me to become a better runner. So today I'm going to share to you whatever that I know that can help you run fast. So basically, what we have to know that we have to get the basics right. That's first, all right, and then We're gonna understand how to get faster and faster, all right. So that's a little bit about me.
Azwan, before we go into the real topic and real business, can you share with us like how fast are you?
Okay. So my 5 km in 5,000 meter, which I did on track. So I don't call it 5 km. I call it 5,000 meter because on track it's flat.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
16 minutes 03
One six
second. So
16.
16, yeah, 16,103. And my 10 km on the road is 34:14, I think 14 or
34
18.
14. Mm.
Yeah, I
That's a
think on the
lot of
track is
mm, dream speed
yeah
for a
on
lot of
the
people actually.
So on the track, 10,000 meter was 34:18. Yeah.
Right.
So on the road, 5 km, I can't really remember. It's 16, 18 or 17, something like that.
Mm.
16 minutes, 70 seconds, 80 seconds, something like that. And then
Mm.
my half marathon was 1 minute and eight, one half, sorry, not 1 minute, one half, 18 minutes, 18
Right.
40
Right.
second 40 seconds. Yeah, this all was done like 2 years back. Yeah, like
Right.
2016, 17. Yeah, that was one of the like the best
Sure.
like season that I had. Yeah.
Sure.
Mm,
Okay.
mm.
Okay. Do you learn running by yourself, or are you following like a coach before you get this kind of result?
Okay. So before all that 30 for 16 10. right? I was running self coach. Yeah.
Mm.
But when I was in university, friends, Amirul Azwan, he was coaching me. He like guided me. We were kind of sparring partner. And then in my final year in university, I got contact with Coach Shahruddin,
Okay.
Coach. So he guided me for a year plus, and then I graduated. I started working Cyberjaya, and after that, I was self
Mm.
coach for like 2 or 3 years, and then so most of it reading, internet, and my biggest influence is running Jack Daniels
Right.
running. So this book.
Wow, you have to read books, because I always hear people tell me, running also need to learn one may just wear
So
shoe and
this is
run
my
lah.
big like a lot of my
Bible
philosophy, my influence, Bible, yeah, Bible. Here. So this is actually a new book. All right, I bought it new
new
because
edition.
I give to someone who is really was nice to me. I tell you who. So I bought another book. So yeah, initially I photostat from my university Malaya library.
Oh, okay.
But then when I read the book and I found out it's like it provide me complete guidance. It solved my biggest question, like training pace. So and I thought like, okay, I gotta buy this book. I gotta support this author.
But
I
original.
buy a legit book. Okay, I'm gonna buy. And I bought one in Kinokuniya. You can also get it in Kinokuniya. You can order, but they always don't have many copies. So you buy one and then it'll be gone for a bit, and then you have to order something. So that's about me. So a bit of mix, but not like um, yeah, a bit of mix here and there. But I think the peak time that I had was during my self coach period. Yeah, and then I changed. Yeah, I mean they also guided me, but I think my peak performance was when I was doing self coach using the book as a guidance. Yeah.
Right, right. So Azwan, just now you mentioned about you read the book and then the book actually solved one of your biggest doubt, which is about training pace. Like, what other doubts do you have throughout your running journey? I mean, before you become okay with your running, what were those doubts?
Oh, when I first started, like the shoe, uh,
Shoe.
what kind of shoe I need? So I was wearing
Huh.
running. I was wearing Power Bata.
What?
You know
Bata, you just
yeah,
inside buy
Bata
a shoe
Power.
lah.
The Bata has that like a sport
I
performance line.
know. Hmm.
So I was wearing that, and I wasn't. I'm not like a very well family. We were small timer, and yeah. So I was wearing Bata. So I thought I don't know whether the shoe, but every time I took the shoe, it's like I thought, okay, this is the shoe. And after some time I learned maybe I need something more when you're running regularly. So that was soft, and then I was like, how long I should run and what kind of training types I should do. I didn't know that. That was a puzzle as well.
Mm.
But after I saw that, I kind of got a pattern of what kind of training I should do, and then the next question I had was what pace I should do, whether I should have a heart rate, should I have a GPS watch, and after solving that pace problem, I got another problem which is strength conditioning. Should I do
Mm.
what kind of strength do I need to go gym to lift all the weights? That puzzle, and after that, move to nutrition. And
Mm.
nutrition, I was looking for extra edge. What are the things that people don't do, like altitude, iron pills, beetroot, and all those sort of stuff. So when you go along, you find there's another question, there's another question, there's another question. Now my
Yeah.
question is how to fix my plantar fasciitis for now. So
Yeah.
this puzzle. So these are the puzzle that I got, but mainly I think was the training pattern, like
Mm.
what types of training you should do, and the pace. This is the
Mm.
most important thing. Yeah.
Mm. Sure. Okay. Yeah. So for those of you who just come in, today we have Azwan with us who ran quite fast. Yeah, he took about less than 40 minutes for his 10 kilometer. So I think this is a guy you need to learn how to run fast safely. Yeah, because if you want to run fast, it's not about just run fast. It has a formula. Yeah, it has a method. So Azwan is going to share with us some of the components of the trainings and some concept that you need to apply before you want to prepare yourself for very fast running. Okay, and I encourage you to share this video to your friends around you. Yeah, because running community is very friendly and willing to learn community. So I'm sure your friends will appreciate this piece of information, how to run fast. Okay, sure. So Azwan, you can continue with your slides.
Okay. All right. So first, we gotta get the basics right. All right.
Yes,
So I'm gonna
yes.
show you things
Share
that I will
screen.
use with my friends. Screen share. Okay, share screen. Okay, application that I'm gonna share. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just having some another puzzle
Mm,
to find screen. The program. Okay. But things that we're gonna go through is like how to do warm up. All right. After warm up, some of the things like breathing technique,
mm,
uh, type of training,
mm.
and how to divide the training pace, and how does a training plan looks like the training plan that I used for when I was doing 16 minutes
16
10.
minutes. Mm.
Yeah, for 10 seconds. All right. So I'm going to share with you that. Okay, before that, I have some issue with my PowerPoint. Okay, but don't
Where
worry.
is
So,
PowerPoint?
so I will just tell you like we have two types of stretching that you need to know. All right. One is static stretching, one is dynamic stretching. And in the school, what we learn is usually static stretching, where
Mm.
you hold stuff and then you count to 8 and then you change. But is not only it's okay, but it's not recommended. Like if you're going for high performance kind of results, and you really want to improve yourself and you really want to run safe, you gotta change that. You gotta go with dynamic stretching instead of static stretching. All right. The difference between dynamic and static, dynamic involves movement, not like static where you're gonna hold the muscle and just stop. But dynamic, you have this set of movement that you do for particular part of your body to get yourself warmed up. And why dynamic gives you more advantage than static is when you do dynamic stretching, when you're going to work out later, when you do running later, it gives you more power compared to static stretching. Static stretching doesn't give you the power, but dynamic warm up gives you the power. And we want power while we're running because why? We want extra edge over everything. All right, so we want to do much more better. So how does the dynamic set of dynamic exercises? I might not be able to demonstrate to you, but you guys know how does you can always Google and try to find out. And while I'm figuring out this PowerPoint, I can still. All right. Never mind. Second thing you should know is running drills. All right. So every time we do a workout, all right, you gotta move. You gotta do a running drills afterwards before you do your workouts. Why is that? One, you put some tiny because drills act as a plyometric strength as well. All right, but it's a very minimal, low impact plyometry. It's not like a plyometric that we jump on the box. No, it's a very minimal plyometric. So it gives you a bit of strength. It gives you, it corrects your running technique. It gives you coordination and also trains your speed. All right. So before you get into your main workout, let's say your interval, your tempo, you do some drills. All right. So drills, you also do it on your easy day as well. It's fine. But during your before your hard workout, you will do drills compared it's much more necessary compared to your easy day. All right, so drills, what are the drills that you should know? Basically ABC drills. So if you Google ABC, you have this set of drill that you can do. And the thing about drill is you don't need to do it fast. All right, you do it correct first. When you get the rhythm, you get the movement right, and then only you move to doing it a little bit faster and faster. For long distance runner, you don't need that really fast kind of movement while doing drill. Like sprinter, yes, they do it really fast. They do it really like kind of high intensity tempo. But for you, for long distance runner, you don't really need to go up to that extent, right? So I've kind of figured out my PowerPoint already. All right,
Okay.
see if
Okay.
it's I can grab it, application
You
window.
must
Yeah.
must click share screen, yeah. Okay. Then okay, I saw the
Okay.
screen already.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Think you need to make the screen
Okay.
oh yeah. Make it bigger. Can you get into a presentation mode?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Setup. Yeah, so these are the difference between dynamic and static. So we already talk about that. So static, you do it after completing your stretch. So get this warm up step right first, because warm up is a preparation for you to not just run to prepare your muscle, but also your trigger your energy system, your neuromuscular system, and so it's not just about getting your muscle, much more elastic. All right, it's more than that. So you really want to think about how to warm up better. Okay, so we already talked about warm up. Okay, so these are a set of dynamic warm up. I cannot do demonstrate to
Mm.
you, but this another is the bonus lunges metric. All right, so lunges metric is something also really good exercise. If you really don't have time, you can do lunges metric. Okay, lunges metric. Interesting thing about lunges metric is actually invented by a physiotherapist. All right,
Oh,
it's not even
okay.
like coach or anything. So it gives you a bit of warm up and also build some strength. So it's really good exercise that you can do when you are doing your run. Okay, let's move on to okay, running technique. You gotta fix that. You just gotta fix your running technique, because why, you can run much more fast, longer, and reduce your injury. Four things to focus: head look straight, feel tall, shoulder relax and control, hand, okay, your palm you should close, but it's not like a grip close. But when people put their finger, they can just easily pull it out. Okay, and your feet. Okay, other thing about landing is okay, you can land midfoot, can land forefoot, avoid heel, but fall from your ankle. That's important. All right, so you can get that lean forward. All right, that's another thing. So that's running technique. We're not going to talk more, much about running technique and all that stuff. So these are the good running technique looks like. Okay, so I want you to notice on that number four, high cadence. High cadence is really important if you want to run fast. All right, so you gotta make sure if your watch has a metronome feature, make sure you use it. If your cadence is low, so make sure you train your cadence once a week, because I did that. I did train my cadence once a week when I was really struggling. Now I got it up to 175. I'm still hoping to increase it to 180. Because why you want 180? I'll show you later why we want the 180. Because when you're racing, you really want a high turnover, right? So breathing technique, okay, use your mouth, because you can get more oxygen compared to right use your nose. Why we want more oxygen? Because we want more energy, so we can run fast and run longer. All right. So these are the basic stuff you should do. Okay, this is breathing pattern. Okay, this one is a bit it can be complicated. All right. But if you want to know, I think you can Google about it, because this one. But why we have this breathing pattern actually? Because this is the part. Okay, exhaling as you strike with the same leg every time will cause injury on that side usually. All right, repetitive impact on one side. Let's say you exhale on the left leg each time when you're running. So when you exhale, your body actually kind of loosen up all the lock. All right, when you inhale, try inhale and put your hand on the stomach, so you're quite locked and tight. But when you exhale, you can feel how weak is your stomach. So that's what I'm trying to explain. So when you exhale, all that stronghold of that one side become loose, and the impact going on, it cannot be really processed by the leg. All right, so we want to avoid landing on the same side each time you're exhaling. So so when you have this breathing pattern train, so you will land different leg each time. So that's a good practice as well. But if find this too technical, it's fine. You can ignore it. You can train this later. All right. and you have to use your belly. All right, you cannot use chest only. Because why? Because we want to take more oxygen in. Okay, you got to train that belly breathing. How do you train? Before you sleep, apply your hand on the belly and breathe. When you breathe, your belly should go up, not your chest. So this is important as well. Okay.
These are the things sounds quite simple, yeah.
All right.
Sounds
Okay.
simple, but
So
to
we
really
already
do it,
at 180.
maybe not easy.
Yeah. So why I was talking about the cadence actually. So I will show you some data, interesting data. Okay, from uh, one of my race actually. All right. So I'm gonna share that sharing. Okay, share screen, and I'm gonna share. Yeah. So you should able to see Chrome data.
Wait,
All right.
give
So
me.
you're looking at, yeah.
Okay, but the word's a
Okay.
bit
So
small, Can make it bigger now.
okay. All right. Don't worry. I'll make it bigger. Okay. So this text. I mean, all right. So I'm gonna zoom. Okay. I'm gonna zoom. Can you see now?
Better. Yeah, can everyone see
Okay.
now? If you think that
Yeah.
the wording is okay, please write okay.
So
Yeah,
you just
otherwise
choose
we will
to
enlarge
run.
it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please let
So
us know whether you
basically,
can see or not.
mhm.
Let's see.
Oh, that's too much. Zoom. But basically, what I want to show you is the cadence statistic. All right. So the cadence statistic. Sorry, the website is a bit. Yeah, it's a bit heavy. Okay.
Mm.
So the cadence statistic. See here is 182 average cadence. All right.
Mm.
And the average pace I can get is 310 each km. So this is the average time lah. So this is what
Mm.
I'm trying to show. When you have a good turnover of your leg, when your legs can spin fast, you
Mm.
can have a good pace. Yeah, that's important. But if your legs is heavy and it's not spinning as it should be, then we will have a problem. We have a problem in running fast. All right. So we back to that slide again. Okay.
Share
All
screen,
right. I'm gonna
everyone.
share the share screen. I'm gonna back to the slide. Okay.
I didn't see yours. Yeah, okay.
Uh, Okay, now it's coming back. All right. So we are back to our topic again. Okay, so now you've seen the proof why you should increase your cadence. So I think now you should be really convinced. Okay, one of the reasons why you want to increase the main reason you want to run fast. All right, because the author of the book, he did some research. He looked at the people running in Olympic. Most of them 180 step per minute and above. All right. Why you want to do that? You want to land below your hip, less braking impact, less impact, and injury risks are reduced. All right. So how do you improve this part? All right. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back, you're gonna check your run data, and you're gonna see what is your average cadence during your easy run. Okay, and then you're gonna look at your race as well. So let's say your easy run is goes at 160. All right. So usually in your race, maybe you will have 170 or something like that. Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna increase 5 steps during your easy run. When you do this, your body actually trying to learn how to run with a bit more high cadence. So you gotta give your body some time to learn that part. All right, you give your muscle to adapt to that. All right. So when you adapt to that, your body automatically can run at that cadence that you are hoping to run. And when you reach that, you can increase again. All right. But what I'm telling you now is don't go back from 160 straight to 175, 180. No. What
Mm.
you're gonna increase a little bit, 5 steps, and then you're gonna after 3 or 4 months when your body got the rhythm, you're gonna increase again. All right. So take the progression really slow. All right.
Yeah. Azwan, I have a question to clarify. When you say
Yep.
180, right? So it's
Yep.
this applicable for any running distance, like full marathon or an ultra marathon?
Like full marathon, yeah, it's supposed to be. But ultra marathon, sometimes you walk, and not necessarily you're gonna really high speed. So I'm not sure. For ultra marathon, I don't think you can really achieve 180.
I
You can
think
always
so.
you can always reduce your stride length and try to
Mm.
achieve 180. Why? Because you can lessen the impact that go into your
Mm.
legs. So you get a benefit as well. But the thing about high cadence is you get a bit tired.
Yeah,
Alright.
like Azwan, you mentioned about stride length just now, right? How do
Okay.
you monitor or you see your stride length?
Okay, I didn't notice I mentioned stride length, but
Yeah.
talking about stride length, I don't really focus on stride length. Why?
Uh,
When your body becomes strong, when your hips are strong, when you have good mobility, your stride length will automatically adjust.
I see.
So straight line is something that I would worry less compared to cadence. So cadence
Cadence.
is more
Sure.
important than straight line. All right. So the straight line you don't need to open a very big straight line. So when I was first few months of running when I just started, I was opening up my stride like oh langkah panjang boleh lari jauh. But it's because I end up with pain under my kneecap, so
Yes, yes.
really a good step. So where it's okay if your stride length is short, but your turnover is high is good. All right.
Yeah, a lot of time when I
First,
see patient with
mm,
pain at the back of the knee or pain at the back of the thigh, right? Usually it's a
mm,
straddling problem, and then people with straddling problem they tend to have low cadence. So one of the
mm,
tips I would tell them is because it's very hard for me to tell them, oh, reduce your straddling because they cannot imagine, they cannot visualize. So I will tell them about cadence. Okay, what is your cadence now? Okay, now increase your cadence slightly. So and yeah, that's a better way for them to actually modify their
yeah.
running.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the cue that you should use and advise is shorten your stride length. Yeah. So then you can see that their cadence number.
Mm,
All right, like cadence, it can be quite a tricky thing to decide because when your height is very cute, be short, you have a usually you people will have a very high cadence, which is good. Okay, keep going. But those who are tall, they usually have very less cadence. So these are the people that sometimes we have to look at. Are they landing under their hips? If they
mm,
are landing their hips, okay, then okay. Maybe you shouldn't do much about their cadence. Yeah.
mm,
But when you're running fast, your cadence will be high. So you need to get that leg turnover going. All right. So that's about cadence. Okay. So someone asked if my cadence already 185, shall I increase my stride length and how? If your cadence is 185, okay, that's a good trend. You want to increase your stride length. One, you have to do hip strength. All right. Next is you have to do your hip mobility. So that will help your stride length. But I wouldn't really bother about stride length actually because it will
mm,
automatically adjust as long as you're doing all the right things like strength and all your mobility works. All right. So next is a drill. We already talked about drill. You can Google it. Okay, I cannot demo too much on this one because we are on virtual. Okay, this is the part that we want to focus on. What are the types of training and what does it do? Okay, so two important component that I want you to the first that you should be introduced to people is easy run and long run. So usually both is done at comfortable pace, which is easy pace, and easy run done before or after hard day. You can do it easy run every day as well, no problem. And long run usually 60 minutes or more, but easy run usually not less than 60 and usually up to 60 minutes. All right. So more than 60 minutes, you don't consider that easy run. Usually you consider that as a long run. All right. This is just a definition that I use. If you're running ultra, probably your definition of easy run is different. Probably your long run definition is different as well. So that's depending on the race distance and ability. All right. What does it do? Increase your endurance, stamina, increase your heart capacity to pump more blood, train muscle to sustain fatigue, develop more blood vessels, all right, and improve your running form. Because when you're running easy, you have time to look at your form, all right. You want to adjust this so you can improve your running form. And why you need endurance stamina? Simply because you want to run longer. Okay, you want to run longer and you can sustain all the hard work that we're gonna talk in a while. All right. So the hard work that we are talking is tempo run. Okay, it's comfortably hard pace. Okay, so this is like a really one of the puzzles that I had. Like people describe to you comfortably hard pace. Like how do you figure that out? You don't know what is comfortably hard pace. So you want that.
Mm.
So we're gonna learn how to get that digit to understand what is our comfortably hard pace. Okay, it's usually more than 3 minutes, less than 40 minutes. It trains your body to clear lactic acid. Okay, lactic acid is not an enemy here. All right, you need lactic acid, but when the lactic acid overspill, all right, more than your body can clear and process, that's when we have a problem. So you try to train your body to process the lactic acid at a very, very high level. Okay, so usually it will look like a 1 mile, 1,006 meter, all right, 4 times or 50 minutes twice or continuous 30 minutes, all right, depending on the athlete fitness as well. And then next one is interval fartleks. Usually it is fast paced. It varies between race. Let's say you are doing let's say 5 km. So you'll be doing a lot of 1K, you 200 meter and that sort of stuff. But let's say you are doing marathon. Probably your interval is at 2 km, do a 3 km interval, all right, those kind of stuff. And fartleks is like a speed play. Yeah, the difference between fartleks and interval is much more structured. You have what are the times that you want to achieve, what are the times that you want to rest. But fartleks is much more flexy. It doesn't really dictate on the pace that you're gonna run. You're just gonna run based on your effort, right? So what does it do? It stress your VO2 max, lung capacity to process the oxygen. So we want to make our lungs much more stronger, so we can get more oxygen in and more oxygen out. All right. So usually it looks like 1,000 meter, like with some amount of rest to reduce the heart rate back to resting level. And then like 400 meter, usually 400 meters is one of the famous and best for beginner. All right. And then 200 meter, like this is like a interval which is much more high intense. All right. So you do it with 200 meter jog, or you can rest for some amount of time. And what does it do? Improve your speed and also improve your running form as well. Because when you're running fast, you also need to look at your running form. Is it right or wrong? All right.
Mm.
You have known all the type of training. All right. If you guys have questions, just put it below. Like what are the type of training? Sometimes it's really you have more question about the training, so we're gonna look at that.
We have a question here. Any program you suggest? If I like, what are I think TechWise question is, what are the program you would suggest if the person would like to train for 10K, 21K, or 42K? Like which one? What kind of program? Yeah.
Okay, any programs, tempo 10 km or longer, interval 400 meter or 800 meter, you suggest compare if I focus 10 km. Okay, all right. So if you're focusing on 10 km and so your tempo run wouldn't be too much compared to half marathon, right? Because in half marathon you will be running at your tempo pace. All right. So if you're training for 1 km, 10 km, your training will look like more of a 1,000 meter, 400 meter, 200 meter, a lot of fartleks. You'll be doing some tempo run, but maybe it's like 50 minutes or this kind of stuff. But let's say you're doing 40 km, usually your training will be more of this kind of stuff. You know, a lot of tempo run. Maybe your interval is long, all right, 10 minutes. Your fartlek also will be very, very long. Like for 10 km, maybe you do 1 minute fast, 1 minute slow for like 10 sets. Maybe for marathon, you'll be doing much more than that. Maybe 20 sets of, with 30 sets of 1 minute fartlek on those kind of stuff. And for marathon, your long run usually will consist some of workouts as well. We throw in some tempo run, or we throw in some interval as well. For 10 km also we do that, but for marathon program we have lots of that, because you want to teach your body to run at really tired, fatigue mood, but also can sustain that speed. All right. Okay, someone asking, what is your favorite workout for 5K to 10K training? I will show you in a bit. Anbar has a question earlier. 180, yeah, okay, that's not a question. That saved me. Yeah, so it made him famous on that a bit for that 180, and also resulted him in some kind of controversial as well. So yeah. So another training that you should know is hill run. All right, you can choose any suitable degree. Try to avoid before a race or race week. And if you're gonna run, you're gonna better be a better runner in KL. Better do a hill run. All right, you better train that because KL races they will put some hills. All right, except few races that I know they don't pass Mayor Hill ke,
Hmm.
Tunku ke or Perdana Lake Garden, all that stuff. All right, I
Azwan, I have a
race.
question. We talk
Yeah.
about hill running, right?
Mhm.
How much of hill running should a runner do, like in the one week time? How
Okay.
frequent?
How frequent? All right. Usually, heat run comes in the beginning of the phase. All right. Let's say you're going to the base building when you're really you start running after let's say once a week, and it varies between the time. So you increase the time. So first week maybe you do 15 seconds. Okay, 15 seconds. Let's say 10 times. All right. You rest where jogging down and all that stuff. And then the following week maybe you increase. Maybe you become 30. And then maybe you do until middle of your program because why hill can be a bit tiring because it involves because it's a combination of speed and also strength training. All right, so it's really tiring. So you're gonna put heel training in the mid up to middle of your
Mm,
training phase. So you have
okay.
usually break it down to four phases, like base, and then speed, and then race specific, and then race week. So you're gonna stop it halfway. So how many times you do once a week is good enough already. All right, and then you don't have to like put a specific. If you really don't have time to put a specific day or for heel, you can put it in your long run. You can pass through some hills. All right, so like if you're used to run at Hatamas, when you pass by the Petronas, you have that hill. So what you do two loops of that hill, so you get some hills workout. All right, that kind of stuff. So if you really don't have time, okay, you are so lazy, so you can do that kind of combination as well. All right. So how many times? Once a week is good enough. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
And it improves your running form because you have to look straight, you have to swing your hand, you have to lift your leg, pull your leg, and it develops your strength. If let's say you're lazy type, you don't want to go to gym, put your heel workouts in, so it will become a not the best substitute, but it's okay. Yeah, because if you really want to reap out benefit, you have to go to gym. But if you really don't have time, then just do a heel repeats. And the most important is your mental toughness. It gives you that mental toughness that you need. So when you're racing later, it will be helpful for you. Okay.
Azwan, I have a question. Someone asking if they run very slow speed on hill training, does it mean they can run more or less?
Okay.
Does the speed matter?
When you're running at the hill, okay, what you should focus on your cadence. All right. It's like driving. So when you're driving up a hill, you don't go with high gear. You go with low gear. When you go with low
Ah,
gear, you have this your I don't know your car component, but your turnover will be much more faster than it's supposed to be. All right. So when you're running on the hill, your cadence should be high. Okay. When you're racing, don't try to catch up people if you're not strong on the hill. Okay. What you should do when your speed reduce a bit is fine. Okay. When you're gonna catch up, when you go back down. All right. Because whatever goes up is gonna come down. So what you're gonna do when you're coming down, you catch up whatever time that you have lost. All right. So when you're running uphill, don't try to maintain that same goal race pace. All right. So maybe when you
mm,
reduce a bit and then increase your cadence, and when you go down, you catch up again. All right. So when you're running, look straight, open up your lungs. All right. You don't want to collapse your lungs. Swing your hands, increase your cadence, and try to land with foot. Okay. And another thing about running on the hill, it will automatically helps you land correctly because you
mm.
you land with your heel. So it's a way of improving your running form as well. Yeah.
So Azwan, is slow running always cause well, like I need to rephrase this question.
Okay.
Low cadence means when you run slow. Is it
Mm.
correct?
Yeah, sometimes when you're running like let's say a recovery pace, you'll be very low. But it's okay, don't worry, because when you're running a recovery pace, the impact is not much. You're running really slow, so we are not worried about the impact that going through your legs. But when you're doing easy run, all right, usually your cadence will be you should have that good cadence. All right.
Mm,
So that answer the question.
mm.
Automatic. Yeah, that's true. When you're running slow, your cadence will be low. But when you're running slow, you don't need to. We are not worried too much. All right. Okay. So, what's your favorite work?
Wow. Time
What's your favorite
fast.
workout in
We're
your
already 41 minutes in the live. That's
okay?
fast.
Okay, Hazi. Okay, we run slow. Okay, so we already answered that. We started at 9:30. Yeah. So we already yeah. Good.
Now it's like about 10.
Okay, this is a
Okay,
talk
continue.
test. Okay, talk test is more like a newbie kind of stuff. So you guys can Google about that. Okay, this is the important part that we're gonna talk. Pace determination using V dot running calculator. Okay, so there's two type of training. One is using heart rate. One is using pace. Okay,
Mm.
using heart rate is really recommended for those who are new, those who are late bloomer who just started running, and those who are with heart rate, not heart rate, how to say, cardio. What do you say? Cardio attack.
Cardio,
Cardio
like they have some history of heart problem lah.
history. Yeah, history of heart
So
problem or your
yeah,
family has it. So
yes,
probably just be you might want to
cautious.
start with heart rate training because it will
Mm,
be a good foundation for you to train safely first because when you know you're coming to limit, you know where to stop. All
mm.
right. So I used to you already used to run for some time. Those who are really want to like go for next level, probably you're gonna want to pace because let's say heart rate. That day you want to train at maybe you want to do threshold, so you want to go at certain zone, and you are doing it at evening, all right, and then you had a long day at the office and your boss scold you and your girlfriend scold you and all the stuff, and this all increase the stress and everything, and then when you go in the evening your heart rate is already a bit of slightly elevated, and then you do training, probably you won't hit that right spot that you supposed to be, right speed that you want to be, so this might decrease a bit in terms of performance outcome later. So but pace, no matter who scold you, no matter whatever happened to you, the pace will be same. All right, there's no excuse. All right, there's no oh my heart rate is spiking up. You want to run at 4:30 that day? Yeah, 4:30 it is. Nothing gonna influence you. Either morning or evening, the pace is constant. So that's another thing. That's one of the reasons why I want to go with pace. And most of the athletes, like high performance athlete, they usually go with pace as well, right? So that's why I go with pace. But you always have choice. And I'm not saying heart rate is not the best way. It's also a best way. Some people still produce good result. All right, no problem. But it's just that my preference is pace rather than heart rate. I mean, for easy run, usually sometimes I just follow heart rate instead. Like easy run, maybe I feel like more tired. Okay, I'm just gonna go with my heart rate. Sometimes I do that as well. All right, so you can have a mix of both as well. Okay, so this is a brilliant thing that made by Jack Daniels. It's called Jack Daniels V dot running calculator. So you guys can also, if you have an extra device, you can also Google that. Okay, I want you to Google Jack Daniels V dot running calculator. It's in Google. It's in iOS app market. It's in Android Google Play as well. All right, so you can download it. You can install it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your race results, or if you don't have race result, you're gonna use your time trial. Why? Because we are trying to see what is your fitness level is at. All right. Currently, I'm gonna put 5 km at 18 minutes. So there's a pace of 36, and then the V dot is 56. All right. So if you open his book, it actually you have to there's a table that shows that at 56.3 V dot, what is your training pace would look like? So this is where the really interesting part comes in. Yeah, the training pace. All
Right.
right.
So Azwan, once we found out the training pace, right, doesn't mean we always train at that pace, or it's a mix. Like sometimes I use that pace, sometimes I do other pace.
Yeah. It depends on the training program of the day. So if let's say that day we are doing easy run, so for the easy run, each km I'm gonna run at 4:39 to 4:57. All right. So the next day I'm gonna do interval. Let's say I'm gonna do 400 meter 10 times. So I'm gonna do the interval at this pace, 1 minute 25 seconds each rep. And then I'm gonna do next day I'm gonna do easy run. Okay, I'm gonna go with easy run again. So I'm gonna go to it 4:39, but I feel a bit tired, so I'm just gonna go with 4:57 as well. Okay, you can maintain.
Mm.
But let's say if you really, really tired, it's okay. Don't worry. You can just go below 5. Don't worry. All right. Because easy day, you just take it easy. And then the next day, I want you to, your program is tempo run, which is threshold. Okay. Some people call it tempo. Some people call it threshold. Some people call it lactate threshold run. All right. So you're going to run at this pace. So this is, this pace that becomes a guideline where you're going to be, where is the right amount of stress you should apply to your body according to your fitness level. All right.
Mm.
That's what we are trying to figure out, the right amount of stress. Because if you put too much, you become overtrained. All right. You become injured. You become too tired and you cannot recover. But if you put too less stress, you might not hit the right spot. So you couldn't get that. You cannot get a good outcome. You cannot get your full
Mm.
potential out. All right. So we have this problem. So this is about training pace. All right. You got your training pace. And then the next thing is the equivalent. So these are just a fun part. Okay. So if you're doing 5 km, all right, and your timing is 80 minutes. So probably these are the times that they are suggesting you can do. Right. For 10 km, probably you can run at 37. Okay. For 15 km, probably you can do at 340. 15 km probably 57. Your marathon will be maybe 2.52. This also gives you a good idea, like if you want to do a marathon, let's say you want to do sub 3, at what is your 5k should be. So you train backwards. All right, you get your 5k right, and then you get your 10k right, and then probably you move to 252. All right, this is another way of working out this table. All right, so far you have any question just about this table?
Ang has a question.
Again,
He can you
during
are you able to
my
see the question?
yeah. During my interval, I didn't hit my desired HR zone, but I was out of breath and I couldn't continue. How to resolve that? Okay, YC Ang. One thing, you didn't hit the desired heart rate zone. Oh, okay. I make sure you calculated your heart rate zone correctly. That's one.
Mm.
Another thing is probably you're tired. Okay, maybe you just want to scale down on that day. Okay, and heart rate, yeah, so you just have to, like, pace. I could say, okay, you have to reduce your pace. All right, but heart rate, I'm not really sure how to solve that, but I would say maybe you are just too tired on that day. But I was out of breath and couldn't continue to run. Probably you pushed too much. All right, so probably this needs more further uh, query that we should ask before we can really answer that. But my first response would be, maybe your pace is too fast. Maybe you should reduce. All right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because you wanna.
is it possible if someone use both training pace and heart rate zone for training? Use
Uh,
both.
it will be hard to, because there will be some times where you want to be at zone, let's say zone 2, but
Mm.
with the pace that you're going, probably you are in slightly above zone 3. So there could be some situation
Mismatch
in that
lah.
manner. Yeah. So in those situations, probably I would stick with heart rate instead, because heart rate gives you that the is mainly influenced by your fatigue level on that day. So probably I would go with heart rate. But let's say I'm having a confusion between pace and heart rate on a hard day, interval day. Probably I would go with pace instead. All right, because I really want to put that good amount of stress to reap the benefit of it. Yeah,
Mm.
and there's possibility that you can use both approach. Like for easy run, you can use heart rate for like running at zone 2. For interval training, probably you can use pace training. Yeah.
Like just now, referring to YC's question, right? You
Mm.
asked him, you told him that maybe he was pushing too hard. So would it be
Mm.
beneficial if he calculate using the video running calculator to find out the desired pace so that he could find a suitable pace for him?
Yeah.
Because
Actually,
if
that's a
you're running
brilliant.
at very high speed or the pace or too fast, right? Of course, the heart
Yeah.
rate zone is going to go very, very haywire. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It could be a solution as well.
Mm,
Jess,
mm, mm.
good, good, good way of creative
Yes.
way of as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
you can,
actually you may consider go
yeah.
and find a video running calculator, see
Mm-hmm.
what are the pace that you should be training, because pace can be very subjective to say, and everyone has different objective and then
Mm-hmm.
different motivation for running lah. So you must
Mm-hmm.
know what kind of pace you need to train in order to achieve whatever result that you're looking for.
Another thing about heart rate, make sure you use a strap for closer accuracy. If you're really serious about, I mean, the watch. Some people they really get a good timing, good reading, but the optical reading sometimes it can be and then the tone of skin is a bit dark, so the light when it
Mm.
goes through skin maybe is a bit sometimes affected, and also my wrist is quite small, so really hard to tighten up. So some many factor influence, so maybe you could, if you're really serious about heart rate training, probably best to get a chest strap. I mean, Garmin
Okay.
has a chest strap with running dynamics as well, so it can give you extra data as well.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, so this is how we determine pace. All right, so we solve one of my very first puzzle. Okay, so yeah, that's the link. All right, now we're gonna see how the composition of your type of training. All right, to run fast, you shouldn't be doing tempo run, a lot of easy run, tempo run and interval only. Okay, the 10% is actually interval of fartlek. Sorry, my bad. I missed that. All right. So 10% usually it will be consist of interval of fartlek and probably another 10% tempo. And the bigger part is actually easy run. All right. So let's say
Mm.
we take a 70-kilometer runner who's doing 70-kilometer a week. So his easy run probably around 56 kilometer. The balance will be a bit of tempo, a bit of interval. So and then his long run usually probably 20 to 30% of his total mileage of the week. All right. So how do you know what is your uh, the sweet spot for you to uh, a weekly total mileage? So it's really difficult to determine as well. Like myself, I was doing 40, 50, 40, 50, 40, 50, but then I was stuck. I was stuck in plateau for my running. And then I increased a bit, like go to 90, 100, and then only I can see the potential results. So it's really a tricky part. So maybe you want to experiment on, or everyone has to experiment which amount of weekly mileage that actually suitable for them, because
Mm.
it depends on the person's strength, adaptability, how is the body can adapt, and the goal as well. All right. So if you're going for more high performance, usually you gotta log in more mileage. All right, and you gotta be really smart in managing your mileage, because increase too much too soon, it's not good for your body. So try to stick with that 10% rule. All right. So usually this is how a chart will look like. All right, so this 80% is supposed to be easy, all right, easy pace, and this two should be fast. So people say like speed workouts is an expenditure, all right, and saving. Right, so you do a lot of saving, okay, you spend less. All right, so that's a good way to remember. So whenever you do speed workouts, you are actually taking out the saving. All right, so you need to do a lot of savings to for you to sustain the expenditure that coming in. All right, because
Mm.
have good amount of endurance, you can sustain the workouts that you're coming. All right, the loads, your body can handle the loads of the workout. If you don't
Mm.
have enough endurance, you don't have a savings, sorry, your speed workouts will be trembling, your body will be trembling. It's really hard to see a good outcome. All right.
And also, worst thing is you get injured. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
focus too
true.
much on speed
Because
workout.
because yes, because speed workout has a lot of stress, but endurance it gives you, it also has stress, but not as much as speed
Mm.
workout. It
Yeah.
gives you a bit of, it also builds your body, becomes
Mm.
strong. Right.
Okay.
Okay, that's one. Okay, this is the typical training plan, okay, that I would suggest for people who just started, okay. But let's just understand how it looks like, okay, typically. So usually I will start my Monday easy, all right, and then I will go with a hard workout, all right, as Tuesday, and then the next day maybe I rest or do easy run, and then I put a strength and conditioning, probably do some strength or core exercise, and then probably I rest or do easy run, and then 40 minutes easy, and then Sunday long run. So this is how a typical training plans look like. And then you can see on Sunday, usually increase a bit by bit, a bit by bit, a bit by bit. It's not like 60
Mm.
minutes, straight away 85 minutes. No, it's 60, 65, 70. And then I have a test, okay, trial. And then I have a 75, and then I go with 85, and then 95, and then I scale down. All right. Usually, and the last week also you can scale down, no problem. Okay. And then the training also, you can see we are the weekly mileage also. I'm sorry, put a weekly mileage to give you much more clear. But the weekly mileage is supposed to increase, and then here is supposed to slow down. All right, like and also the training usually we start with like a basic stuff like 400 meter with rest, and then 200 meter, and then we move to slightly advanced like 1,000 meter, and then we do a fartlek to ease ourselves up, and then that week we do some 5 km rest. So when I have a race or trial, usually I would do speed workouts that doesn't take too much, like 1 minute fast, 1 minute slow fartleks for 20 minutes. All right, and then after finish that, I will go back and see if my fitness level is okay, and then I'm gonna, if during the 5 km, all right, my, let's say initially before I start I did a 5 km trial, all right, and then it turns out I'm doing 18 minutes, and then this 5 km I did 17 minutes instead, all right. So in this training pace I have to revise, okay, I have to use that without running calculator, calculate the new race result and plug it in here. So my all my new this part of training plan will be new pace, all right. You're not gonna use the same pace because your fitness level has increased, okay. And then you're gonna go with 1,000 meter. So usually typical 5 km training meter, they have this 1,000 meter lah, yeah, 1,000 meter, 200 meter, 400 meter, and some fartlek. And also you need that strength and exercise, strength and core exercises, all right. You don't do that, you're losing big time, because you put aside 1 week, you do strength and core exercises. It doesn't take long, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, but it really pays off in your race result, and also for future injury prevention, and for your growth as well. All right. So during the last week, usually we scale it down. Okay, you do easy run, some fast. This is like a fast but short. All right, those kind of stuff to like put a cream on your cake. All right, so just touch up a bit, and then you recover, and then you do some 5 km easy, so in the last week also you don't rest too much. Okay, we don't rest too much because we still want to keep that speed going in our leg. We still want our legs to remember how running fast is like. We don't want to go rest and then go to 5 km race, and then your legs feel sluggish. All right, so we are still having some short and sweet workouts going, and then we go with race, we go with fresh leg. All right, so this is how a typical 5 km training plan will looks like. Okay, but as we plan, it doesn't always goes that way. Okay, I'm going to show you the last part, how I did my training last time. So you can see the before I get into the 100, I was running at a 70 to 80 kilometer per week, 60 kilometer, and then I increased to 80, and then becomes 100. So I try to achieve 100 to see my full potential. So 100 is a lot for me as well. I didn't sustain this for too long. After some time, I rest. So some week I had to do my long runs on Monday, so I just did on Monday because I think this was public holiday. So I did long run on this day because it's Monday, and the day before was first January, so cuti. So you do easy run, the next day usually easy run, and then some easy run and tempo. So I did like 15 minutes time 3 threshold, and then Thursday rest again. So Friday morning, evening, and then Saturday another interval 800 meter, and then 7 km bit rest because I already did a long run here. So you can see, to push further, one, you need to increase your load a bit, all right, and then your interval. Like the earlier training plan, we see the interval is only once a week, right? Only the Tuesday. The other day, we don't see interval. But when you're trying to push yourself, maybe you have to do twice instead of once. All right, so you can see it's twice. But here's the thing: you do more, you're putting yourself into more risk of injury. So you have to remember that. You have to manage that as well. So when you have to know when to back down. Sometimes it will be too late. Like myself, it was too late. I had some injury at the after I think in March or something. I already sustained a bit of injury, but that's the risk. So in training, you cannot do just one type of training. You have to mix it up. Okay, so I did threshold on the first day of the week, and then the second day of the week I did some interval, and then the first day of the week I did some 1 km times 4, and then I moved to 800 meter and then 600 meter. Why? 1 km gives you a bit of endurance speed, and then 800 meter and 600 meter moving down a bit. So it basically changes more speed, right? Because it will demand you have to run more faster. Okay, and then you do some 50 minutes easy, and then you put some fat leg in. All right. So fat leg, you just go with your effort. So fat leg, you can do 4 minutes, 1 minute rest. This one is 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute rest. All right. And then 10 km, you do it. Sometimes you do it at marathon pace. All right. Marathon pace is between your easy and tempo. So it's slightly challenging as well. And then you rest. And then so I did some race. And then that week I got MD 77. It's fine. And then start one day with interval fat legs, and then easy run, and then I do strength and conditioning with kettlebell. All right, this is where I think also really contributes to my growth as well, because I start to bring in the strength and conditioning part. Before that I was lazy lah, and then after some time I realized that I think I started experimenting, and then I started to do simple things, and then I combine strength training and interval training on the same day. Why? Because I want to rest the next day. I don't want to do another hard day, because I cannot rest off, because the next day I have another hard training. So I want so I can grow here. So and then the next day, the following day I have a hilly run, and then easy, and then I did a race. It's unplanned, so 95. Okay, that's good. And then rest, and then some 600 meter. That's a very odd number of weird number interval. But I was following this Jack Daniels book. So and then some 20 km, and then 10 km. And then at that time I was a bit lucky because it was Chinese New Year, so we get a long holiday, and I went to Indonesia to train with their national team for a bit. This was in altitude, so that was in Bandung. I stayed for a week. So with them, I realized the training is slightly different, because those guys were training for marathon, so they were doing a lot of threshold run. So you can see on this week I was training with the Indonesian team, national team. So 12 km threshold, and then next day easy strength conditioning, and then some interval, and then strength and conditioning easy, and then another threshold. So they have like a three hard day a week, which were much more challenging. This is like a highest mileage that I got on that training cycle, which is quite tiring. But during this week, I didn't do anything. I ran the morning, I sleep, and then evening I ran, I sleep. So a lot of recovery. So I'm lucky with that. And then I come back to KL, 5 km easy, and then someday I managed to do double, a typical 400 meter, and then you have some mileage going on in here. That's why you see double day. Double day means I really want to get that mileage in. But usually double day is okay, because I'm doing very easy, so I can manage that time. And then the next day some short and sweet interval, and then 6 km with stride. Usually if I have a race the next day, I will put some strides in. Why? Because I want to trigger the leg to run fast. Okay, the next day we have something coming up, so I want the legs to remember and wake up. So the next day I wake up in the morning race, I feel so sluggish. So another thing to keep your strides in your training, right? Manage to get a 99. And then the following week, second last week, 10 km, some interval. I also did some strength training, easy run, some threshold mile repeats, and then 16 km, easy run total, and then some easy run, and I got 102. And the following week is a race week, so I really lowered down my mileage, because I want to preserve my leg for the race day. So I was just doing 400 meters short and sweet, and then evening some easy run, and then 40 minutes. I cannot see because the StreamYard icon is,
Blocking.
and then some little fartlek, and then rest, and then drove to Ipoh, ran a 5,000 1610. Yeah, that's how it is. So to run fast, one, you have to get that mileage, total weekly mileage in, all right, because you want to get your body really strong, and also your interval frequency will be more than one, all right. But to three, or actually when you're going more than one, you already put yourself in a lot of stress, so you have to manage that. If you could manage that, you can keep going. Like, you rest well, you sleep well, you have a physio, you have a sport massage, that will help in managing the load. This During this period of time, I was still uh, fresh, so even though I didn't have much of a sleep most of the day, I still managed to yeah. But after sometimes, I think in March my performance deep down. So that time I know I have to, after you finish your cycle with a high intensity, you have to stop so that you can go for a new phase. You can get much more stronger. All right. So that's about how we gonna try run fast. Okay. So I
Yeah.
think and here, all right, training
Yeah.
nutrition, we gonna take it next time. All right.
Yeah. So I have a question from Haziq. What was your
Now,
first 5 kilometer time, and how many years does it take for you to get 16 minutes for 5K?
okay, here's the thing, Haziq. When I really start running, I was using Casio watch, and I didn't really track like what my first 5 km timing is like. I can't remember all my first 10 km. Yeah. So, but when I was in university, probably I was running at 19 or 18 minutes. Yeah. But I was stuck there. The problem is I was stuck there. I couldn't get faster. I was stuck. I was a 18 minutes guy, maybe until 2017. Yeah, 2016. I was still a 18 minutes guy. So I started running in 2010, 2011. So it takes a bit of time for your body to really get that good amount of strength to build that strength, to get that speed, and for yourself also to get the experience and understand what do you need. And it's an experiment, so you are learning about your body as well. And sometimes, like myself, I did a training program my own. It worked, and at some point I found that, okay, maybe I need someone's opinion outside. So that time I tried to look for a coach, where that time, and then I met Coach Mark William, where he guided me as well. But much more less mileage. I managed to do sub 35 few times, but with much more less mileage, much more load, which is another interesting way to manage your training. So some people have a different kind of approach. Some people have this traditional approach where you do lot of uh, uh, mileage and interval. All right. Okay, Martina. So probably that will be just part.
Yeah. Right. So, Martina, a lot of time when knee inflammation happen, right, is because there is imbalance between the amount of physical activity and also the amount of strength that you have. Yeah. So, like for example, if you were to run a 20 kilometer as compared to run a 5 kilometer during a training, the amount of endurance and strength required for 20 kilometer definitely will be much more than whatever amount is required for 5 kilometer. So a lot of time we focus on the duration of the training, the distance and also the speed. We forgot to improve our strength. So that's why when Azwan talk about strength, right? Strength is very important and core is very important because he's trying to put on more saving. Yeah, like if you remember the graph just now, yeah, increase the saving and endurance of the muscles and joints so that you can do more hard training later. You don't always do hard training. You also need to look after the muscle and flexibility. Make sure you have enough flexibility and strength for you to do what you want to do. Yeah. So I'm not sure how strong is your knee. Usually knee inflammation happens because the lack of strength of the knee. So I would suggest you to look go and find out the strength of your knee. Yeah? If you're not sure how to check, you can PM me later. Yeah. Okay, I'll send you the link. Right. So do you have any other question from the floor? Yeah, it's already like more than 1 hour. Whew,
Yeah, I
just
think
now.
we are
Wow,
like
this was
one hour and 10 minutes.
so much of
And we were
information for Azwan.
we were planning like, are we gonna do it very short? We were-
Yeah. They said when Azwan stopped talking, I'm like, what? Azwan cannot stop talking, man.
This is it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to fit whatever I can fit to the people, and yeah, they
Yeah.
can. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Right. So for those of
Yeah.
you who missed the live session, no worries. If you're watching replay, if you have question to ask, you can always put in the comment because we were able to see your question and then we'll try to answer your question and queries. Yes. And then if you find the session today is helpful, feel free to share this video to your friend. And also if you would like to know about some other things about running besides what Azwan has covered today, please suggest. Yeah, you can suggest the topic in the comment, then we'll look into it, and then we have to plan our future Facebook live session. Yeah.
Hmm.
So before we end the session, Azwan, do you have any like summary or any last word, before you
Uh,
go and sleep?
I think the formula of growth is you put right amount of stress and you put right amount of rest. So these two like equation like strength. Sorry, stress. Where's my camera? Okay, stress and growth. You put it together, and then you stress and rest. All right, you put it
Yeah.
together, growth. All right, so you get a
GROWTH, right?
yeah, so you need to find that right amount of stress that you can put on your body. Then only you can really see. So that's when the training pace come in. Yeah. Okay. What is running shoe to start with? You don't
Ah,
ask because
Bata lah, Bata power, Bata power. Yeah,
I would
Azwan
recommend.
underrated, right?
I would recommend any of the like Solar Boost and SL20 is a good start. All right, but I don't want to talk too much. All right, about the brand because just won't be happy. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Can. So, very good information. Choose the right amount of stress and right amount of rest, and then you
Yeah.
achieve growth in your running. Yeah. The
Yeah.
keyword is right amount. Yeah. A lot of time we also forgot about rest. Resting is also part of training. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we will see you again. Yeah. So stay tuned
Okay.
with our more Facebook Live, and then if you would like Azwan to talk more about running, let us know. Bye bye.
Probably same one.
Bye bye. Thank you for watching.
Okay.
Hmm. Let's see.